Okay, Abhishek Manu Singhvi claiming somewhere that he believes he is being fixed. Tax troubles following the Congress spokesperson. Let me go to another big story that's developing as we speak at the moment in Maharashtra, because tomorrow is the big trust vote for the BJP government there. What will the Shiv Sena do? That's the big question that's being asked. I want to go straight across to Sahil Joshi at the moment, who's joining me there from Mumbai. Sahil, very quickly, what is the Shiv Sena going to do tomorrow? Are they going to back the BJP or not?
See, the whip says that tomorrow 9 o'clock Shiv Sena leadership is going to address this issue and going to issue a particular orders to their MLAs that what exactly they should be doing in the speaker selection. The speaker selection will happen at 12 o'clock if Shiv Sena is ready to go ahead with their candidate. The Congress has already decided that they will not take back their candidate. Right. So the elections are going to happen. Now, what we are hearing is that two of the Shiv Sena leaders met with Devendra Fadnavis before the Shiv Sena meeting happened, and they again requested him to sort out this particular issue and somehow managed to get Shiv Sena within the government. Devendra Fadnavis clearly told that now you will have to support us unconditionally. Rest of the things can happen later. So Shiv Sena leadership is still in the double mind. Many of the leaders are telling us that Shiv Sena leadership is still thinking that whether to go ahead with the unconditional support or still wait for any kind of a proper concrete formula. Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying the Shiv Sena still is not clear about what it wants to do. Clearly, Uddhav Thackeray has not been able to decide. And that really reflects the dilemma of the Sena. Sahil Joshi, with that, from Mumbai, appreciate your joining. Another top story. The story that, as I said, I believe should be the #1 story at the moment across every news channel in the country. A mass sterilization drive in Chhattisgarh's Bilaspur went horribly wrong. Of the 83 women who underwent sterilization at the medical camp, hoping to get rid of unwanted pregnancies in the future, 9 ended up losing their lives. 31 others are critical. What exactly went wrong? Take a look.
83 operations in just under 5 hours. Anger spilled over to the streets after sterilization procedures turned deadly.
लोगों को मतलब बता रहे हैं कि भैया ऑपरेशन करा, परिवार योजना सरकार की योजना है, ना कि हमारी योजना। हम सरकार को सहयोग कर रहे हैं, लेकिन सरकार हमको मारने का ठेका दे रखा है।
जहाँ पे कोई सुविधा नहीं है वहाँ पर ऑपरेशन किया गया है महिलाओं का। महिलाएं को ऑपरेशन करने के बाद वो लोग चले गए, सब अपने अपने घर चले गए। उसके बाद घर में उनको जो प्रिकॉशन मिला उनको उन्होंने उपयोग किया, उसके बाद उनकी तबीयत खराब हुई है।
The botch up jeopardizing dozens of lives.
प्राइमरी हमारी जो प्राथमिकता है कि जो भी इन्वेस्टिगेशंस लेना वो पूरे लिए हैं, जो कि 72 आवर्स में कल्चर और दूसरी जो रिपोर्ट्स आती हैं मिल जाएंगी, तो एग्जैक्ट रीजन क्या है वो उससे अपने को पता चलेगा।
The Chhattisgarh Chief Minister went in damage control mode, suspending 4 doctors and ordering a probe.
डॉक्टर आर.के. गुप्ता जिसने ये ऑपरेशन किया, उनको निलंबित ही नहीं किया गया, बल्कि उनके खिलाफ क्रिमिनल केस में एफआईआर दर्ज करने का भी निर्देश जारी किए गए हैं।
Raising the compensation from 2 lakh to 4 lakh rupees, the state government also promised strict action against the guilty.
एक कमेटी बिठाई है उसका रिपोर्ट लेने के लिए। रिपोर्ट आने के बाद उसके ऊपर निश्चित तौर से जो कुछ जिन्होंने किसी गलती की है उसके ऊपर निश्चित तौर से कार्रवाई करें।
But an angry opposition was unrelenting in its attack on the chief minister, demanding his resignation. A promise of a probe, even as over 60 women still struggle for their life. But the state government that guns for doctors must also answer whether stiff targets of operations triggered the tragedy. Bureau Report, headlines today.
So who really should be held accountable? Joining me now, Shailaja Chandra, former Executive Director of India's National Population Stabilization Front. Also joining me in the studios, Dr. Geeta Sodhi, Public Health Professional on Women's Health and Rights. I'm going to come to you, Dr. Sodhi, first. Is it, as our story seems to be suggesting, the pressure being put on doctors to conform to to meet certain targets, that you've got to have so many sterilizations at this government camp? Is that what has led to this disaster in Chhattisgarh at first sight?
No, absolutely. I think there's a problem at different levels. Of course, at the level of an individual provider, there's negligence. But we have to try and look at why the individual felt pushed to perform 83 surgeries in less than 5 hours.
83 surgeries in less than 5 hours. Do you believe that that is entirely because of this target-driven approach? Or is it just the quality of services that are being offered in a small village hospital in Chhattisgarh, at a small government-run camp in Chhattisgarh?
I think the whatever has happened, the botch up, it actually implies a couple of different things. One, that there's a systemic failure. Two, there's at the level of implementation of certain very good and solid policies, there's a failure. We've not been able to implement what we've been standing up and signing for. For example, we have made the move towards a target-free approach. Now here we clearly see that there is a targeted approach.
So
not
you're
just
moving
in terms
away
of
from
numbers.
reproductive health back to the old thing of let's ensure targets. You know, unless you have so many, every government doctor is expected to fulfill a certain number of targets. Shailaja Chandra, do you believe that that is the shift which is taking place again from the focus being on women's health and rights? We're again going back to the old philosophy that unless you meet a certain number of target, population control can only be met through targets. We are going back, and that is what is resulting possibly in a situation where today 9 people have lost their lives.
Well, I would say that apart from chasing targets, it could also be something which would be poor hygiene. It could be, I mean, it needs an investigation. Were they using the same needle? I believe the local newspapers have said that they were using the same syringes, they had no gloves. This needs to be looked into, and if there was this kind of a hurtling hurry to achieve some targets, it happens in many states. Let me tell you that when I was in the Population Stabilization Fund, we found many states during the period October to January, February, during the winter months, chasing targets because they want to satisfy the women who come forward, because it's not as though the women are coming unwillingly, they want this. I want to question something which is much bigger, and I've been questioning it in writing. I have an article published also on this. You see, in all other countries around the world, leave the West, but talking about neighboring countries, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Cambodia, Iran, a Muslim country, they do not go in for such excessive female sterilization. In India, we go for about 75% is just sterilization of women. In other countries, people use IUDs, and in China, it is mostly IUDs. In Sri Lanka and Cambodia and Bangladesh, they have used injectables. Now, I wish that someone would take a look at the safety of injectables, come down absolutely with all the transparent data, and why not give women some chance to lead a life without being put under the laparoscope or the knife?
I'm just wondering.
It's high time
I'm
that
just
we
wondering,
change
ma'am.
this kind of a old-fashioned.
No, I'm just wondering, and I want to bring you in here, Doctor. Do you believe that this
Yes.
is also that in a place like Chhattisgarh, the woman has no control over her body? She's been sent to a government camp almost like a guinea pig, one fears.
Yeah, no, I think absolutely this does show what kind of gender bias exists in our society, where we actually are upholding the women's right on paper to making reproductive choices, to being able to, of free will, decide what is the method she'll go for. And we are clearly pushing a method onto her. If we are offering her an incentive of 600 rupees, it's absolutely exploitative. We are taking away her willful decision. We are not helping her arrive at some informed, well-informed choices. And the loss of control over her body is absolutely there.
So it's possible that these women in Chhattisgarh simply had no control. They were being offered this 600 rupees, and that was enough for them to go to the camp. They were not looking at hygiene, not looking at condition. So who should be held accountable then, Shailaja Chandra, as a former IAS officer? Should the doctors who've been suspended be held accountable? Should it be the health minister of Chhattisgarh? Should it be the chief minister? Who is to be held accountable?
Well, in the very first place, the inquiry must show what exactly was missing before you hold someone accountable. But I do feel that if this has happened, it has happened and people and women have died, and whole lot of them are in a critical condition. It is a very serious situation. Chhattisgarh also had a problem when they did cataract surgeries and a whole lot of patients became blind. Something is wrong. People say quality of doctors, people say that the hygiene was poor. The inquiry will bring this out, but it's not enough to suspend. I think there has to be a real look at this whole system of doing these mass sterilizations during a certain period of the year. And I think women have no choice. Poor things. Men do not use condoms. The pill is something which they cannot rely on. So they ultimately have to go in for this after 2 children. Most of these women were between the ages of 24 and 32, I'm told. Right. And they would have had their quota of, they would be doing this because they want to control the family. I mean, to limit the family, not control. Right. This is something where, I mean, my suggestion is that we must look at newer options which the rest of the world is using and popularize those. This is not the way to be putting so many women under this kind of a peril.
Let me only say one thing today, that if this has happened in Delhi, it had happened in a Mumbai, a Bangalore or a Chennai, there would be outrage. It is unfortunate that we aren't as angry over what has happened in Chhattisgarh, because Chhattisgarh is perhaps too far away from some of our national television studios. This is a story we will keep tracking here on Headlines Today, and we will try and see what exactly that government investigation actually results in. I appreciate my guest joining us here on the News Today at 9.